All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We usually treat personal finance like it's this hard science, kind of like physics or chemistry. We tell ourselves that if we just memorize the right math formulas and plug in the right numbers on a spreadsheet, we're guaranteed to succeed. But the insights we're unpacking today tell a completely different, honestly fascinating story. They reveal that the path to financial independence isn't actually paved with calculators at all. It's paved entirely with behavioral control.
So why do smart people stay poor? I mean, really think about this for a second. We all probably know someone who is highly educated, maybe a brilliant doctor, a specialized engineer, a top-tier lawyer, who pulls in an exceptional salary, but for some reason they're constantly struggling. They're basically living paycheck to paycheck. Now, if managing money was just about intellect and crunching numbers, these incredibly smart professionals would be the wealthiest people in the world. But they aren't. And today, we're going to unpack exactly why that is. Section 1. The intelligence illusion. When brain power doesn't equal wealth. We're all kind of conditioned from a young age to believe that a high IQ and an elite, expensive education are the ultimate tickets to wealth. But more often than not, those super impressive credentials are tied to downright terrible financial habits and a surprisingly low net worth. The hard reality is that financial stress hits people regardless of where they went to school. Because, at its core, finance is about behavior. Your college degrees might teach you how to do a complex job flawlessly, but they completely fail to teach you how to manage the heavy emotional weight of money. This brings us to Section 2, the emotional side of money, the unseen forces driving our decisions. What's wild is that there are 4 massive, almost overpowering emotions that secretly hijack our paychecks every single month. We're looking at pure behavioral economics right here. First up, we've got the fear of missing out, good old FOMO. This is exactly what drives totally rational people to dump money into speculative bubbles right before they pop. Second is greed. The craving for quick, totally unrealistic returns makes us abandon a solid, boring strategy for a get-rich-quick mirage. Third, we have that intense craving for instant gratification, literally just the inability to wait. And finally, there's the crushing social pressure to keep up appearances. Buying things just to prove to everyone else that we're successful. These psychological forces just steamroll our logic every single time. To really grasp this, we need to look at a foundational concept from behavioral economists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. It's called loss aversion. Basically, the emotional pain of losing $1,000 hits you so much harder than the joy of gaining that exact same $1,000. Our brains are literally hardwired to weigh losses way more heavily than gains. It's actually a survival mechanism. And it perfectly explains why people panic sell all their investments during a temporary market dip instead of just taking a breath and staying the course. Our emotions just completely hijack the driver's seat. Let's move on to Section 3, the trap of overspending, falling into the consumer psychology trap. Now, if there's one concept you absolutely must guard against, it's this: lifestyle inflation. It's the phenomenon where your spending just naturally creeps up at the exact same time your income rises. So what happens is someone gets that big promotion, or they land a massive client, and immediately, almost subconsciously, they just spend more money. They upgrade the car, they move to a fancier house, they start buying designer clothes, and by doing that, they completely wipe out their wealth-building potential. They are sprinting on a financial treadmill just to stay in the exact same spot. It's exhausting, and it gets you nowhere. So what actually triggers this overspending? Well, it usually comes down to 3 things. First, buying status symbols. This goes right back to that social pressure we just talked about, buying stuff just to signal wealth rather than actually building it. Second is emotional shopping. We've all been there, right? Using retail therapy as a way to cope with a stressful week. And third, those hidden credit card traps. Credit cards are incredibly dangerous from a behavioral standpoint because they sever the psychological pain of paying. Swiping a piece of plastic or just tapping your phone is so frictionless, it doesn't trigger that same ouch feeling you get when you hand over cold hard cash. Section 4, how the wealthy think, building the habits of self-made millionaires. You probably heard of the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, right? Picture this. You're sitting in a room, and there is one delicious marshmallow staring you right in the face. The deal is, if you can resist eating it for just 15 minutes, you get a second marshmallow as a reward. Now, while this was tested on kids, the findings are universal. It proves that the psychology of delayed gratification is the ultimate, undisputed secret to long-term wealth. Honestly, wealthy people are just the ones who have trained themselves not to eat that single marshmallow today. They invest it so they can turn around and buy the whole marshmallow factory tomorrow. When you put it all together, it creates this stark, undeniable contrast between 2 completely different mindsets. The poor mindset acts like a consumer. They are constantly reacting to their emotions, demanding instant rewards, and chasing status symbols just to impress people they don't even like. But contrast that with the wealthy mindset. These individuals actively practice delayed gratification, they obsess over risk management, and they maintain a laser focus on investing. The wealthy use their money to buy freedom and security. The poor mindset uses money just to manage their current emotions. Section 5. Lessons from Financial Masters. Wisdom from the Greatest Investors. I absolutely love this quote from Morgan Housel, the author of The Psychology of Money. He says, "Doing well with money has a lot to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave." I mean, that right there is the whole thesis of this explainer. When you look closely at absolute legends like Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, you start to realize something crazy. Their biggest edge wasn't that they were just insanely smart calculators. Their real superpower was their total mastery over their own psychology. They stayed calm when the rest of the world panicked. They were patient when everyone else was greedy. Behavior always, and I mean always, beats brains. To put this into perspective, think about the timeline of wealth. In year 1, adopting delayed gratification, honestly, it feels like watching paint dry. You're saving, you're investing, and the progress looks basically invisible. But stick with it, because by year 10, the magic of compound interest really begins to accelerate. That early patience starts producing undeniable results. And by year 30, you're looking at massive wealth generation. But here's the catch. That mathematical magic relies entirely on the psychological patience we've been talking about. If you lose your cool and interrupt the compounding process, the math completely falls apart. And finally, Section 6. Change your psychology. The final paradigm shift. I really want this next point to sink in. Seriously, if you take nothing else away, remember this. Your bank account is a reflection of your habits, not your intelligence. If you've been leaning on your fancy college degree or your high monthly salary, hoping they'll just magically make you wealthy one day, you are fighting the wrong battle. But honestly, that is incredible news. It means your financial destiny is entirely in your own hands. If you can master your psychology, conquer those impulsive emotions, and rewire your daily habits, your financial reality has absolutely no choice but to change. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Is your bank account right now reflecting your intellect, or is it reflecting your habits? Take a hard, really honest look at the financial choices you're making today. Are they secretly being driven by fear, greed, or the need to look successful, or are they guided by patience, calculated risk, and the amazing power of delayed gratification? Remember, money is just a magnifying glass for human behavior. Change your psychology, and you will absolutely change your world.